What's going on, guys? HK Titan here with a brand new video for you guys. And first things first, as always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today's video, we're going to be jumping back into our Bloons TD6 tier list guides. So for this tier list guide, I am going to be talking to you guys about the towers that work best for chimps, at least in my opinion. Now, all of the towers that I choose and where I rank them are most certainly up for debate. So if you guys have any towers that you believe belong in a higher slot or a lower slot, please feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I am more than willing to discuss it with you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Alright, so the first tower that we're going to be starting off with is the biggest one. So the biggest one by himself, I don't think is that great of a tower, just because he doesn't have that fast of a fire rate, but he is a pretty good tower overall. I do know that there are a lot of chimp strats that use this tower. Me, myself, and I rarely use him, but I do know he is a pretty decent tower to use in chimps. Alright guys, let's check out the next tower. The next tower is going to be the Apache Prime. Now, I'm actually going to move the biggest one down to a B tier, because I want to save the S tiers for towers that, in my opinion, are some of the best towers in the game for chimp strats. That being said, the Apache Prime, a very good tier 5 for most chimps map. The only stipulation with the Apache Prime is that it only works well on maps that have long straight paths. So paths like Cubism, paths like logs, and just any maps that have straight lines, because in order for the Apache Prime to be really effective, you need to have those long straight line paths. That being said, I do believe that the Apache Prime belongs in an A tier. Next tower that we're going to look at, we are going to be looking at the Archmage. Now the Archmage has been a very good tower for chimps modes ever since I started to play the game. But that being said, over the patches, nerfs, and buffs, the Archmage is still a good tower, but it's definitely lost its effectiveness over time. That being said, I do believe that the Archmage can still hold his own in chimps modes, so I do believe he belongs along the same tier as the Apache Prime. Next tower that we're gonna look at, my tried and true, my favorite tower in all of Bloons TD6, well, at least my favorite strat to use, the Avatar of Wrath. The only thing with the Avatar of Wrath is that it does need other druids to go ahead and make it more effective, as well as that you do want to get in, or you do want to pair it with an Oban as well. But that being said, you could say the same exact thing about the Apache Prime and the Archmage. But with the Avatar of Wrath, this is one of the few towers that you can be all of the beginner modes with. You can be a majority of the intermediate maps with. Be some advanced maps with it, and then as well as you can also be some expert maps with it as well. That being said, the Avatar of Wrath, in my opinion, belongs in an S tier, because it is a super easy strat to use. There aren't a lot of moving pieces, and it's one of those strats that you can basically place down your towers, and you guys don't need to have your full focus on the game in order to make it work out for you guys. Alright guys, let's go ahead. We have a banana farm here. You guys already know it for chimps. I'm going to throw all of the banana farms down here. On top of that, I'm also going to throw the bottom pathway monkey village in the very bottom as well. I'm just going to go ahead and get those out of the way really quick. Next, we have the top tier bomb shooter. Now, the top tier bomb shooter is a very good tower to use for the simple fact that it's going to give you some stall in in your Bloons Tower Defense games. That being said, I think it's not a strat that can be used by itself, but it does deserve a little bit of respect for the simple fact that you can build some chimp strats around it, but it's one of those towers that cannot solo a game of chimps. So I do believe that it belongs in a B tier classification. Next tower that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the BMA, the Bloon Master Alchemist. Now, this tower, this is a very, very good tower in Chimps modes. The only issue I have with the Bloon Master Alchemist is that you're not going to be able to take advantage of the Bloon Master Alchemist until late game. So what that means is that from round 1 until like round 60, you're not going to be able to use the Bloon Master Alchemist, but it is very, very good to use because it turns Moabs into red balloons, it turns BFBs into red balloons, it turns ZOMGs into red balloons. So that being said, I do believe that the BMA definitely belongs higher up on the list. It's definitely not an S tier, but I will give it the respect of an A tier for the simple fact that it is a very, very good tower to use, as I demonstrated in my round 300 how to get to round 300 guide. Next tower that we're going to look at, we're going to look at the Bottom Pathway Mortar Monkey. Now this tower, very, very good tower to use in alternate balloons rounds, but for Chimps he's not as effective as he is in ABR. But that being said, Shattering Shells is a amazing upgrade path to go. It's not super expensive, and it can also make any one of your Chimp strats more effective. That being said, I do believe it is a little bit more of a support tower, so I'm going to go ahead and classify it under the B tier for this Chimps tier guide. Next tower that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the Bomb Blitz. Now the Bomb Blitz himself, not that great for going to round 100 by itself, but it does have some usefulness when on round 63, on late 70s. So that being said, I will give it the same respect that I gave the Bottom Pathway Mortar Monkey, for the simple fact that it does have some usefulness in Chimps, because it's not a super expensive tower to get, but it is very, very good on certain rounds. Next tower that we're going to look at, we are going to look at the middle upgrade path Ice Monkey. So with this Ice Monkey, it does provide quite a bit of stall, and it's not a super expensive tower to go for, but at the same time, like I'm gonna give it the same respect that I gave it the top upgrade path Bomb Shooter, because it will provide some stall on round 63, on round 76, on round 78, and rounds where you're dealing with a lot of ceramic balloons. So it can definitely help improve your Chimp strats, but at the same time, again, it's not a tower that can solo Chimps. Next tower we're going to look at, we are going to be looking at the Glaive Lord. The Glaive Lord by himself, I do not believe he belongs in the S class. He does not belong in the A class. But the tier 4 more glaives, much similar to the recursive cluster, can definitely help out against round 63 and some of the rounds where you're dealing with a massive amount of ceramic balloons. So again, we are going to be giving it the same respect that we gave the recursive cluster, and we're going to go ahead and give it a B tier. Carpet of Spikes, Spike Factory. Now, this tower, I believe, is one of the best towers in the game, because the center upgrade path isn't super expensive, and it can give you an ability to use in Chimps, and is very good to use on multipath maps, for the simple fact that it will cover the entire map in the Carpet of Spikes, making easy work of some of the higher tiered rounds. That being said, I think the Carpet of Spikes has earned its position as an S tier tower. Crossbow Master. Crossbow Master is a super cheap tier 5, and at the same time he is extremely effective up until until past round 80, but once you get to like round 83, 84, and some of the higher rounds, he definitely loses his effectiveness. That being said, I do believe that the Crossbow Master belongs in the same category as the rest of these towers here, because while they are useful in Chimps, they cannot solo a Chimps game by themselves. Elite Defender. Elite Defender is a very, very good tower because of his rate of fire. He also has a pretty good ability. He's not super expensive, much similar to the Crossbow Master, but the only time the Elite Defender is extremely useful is when you're dealing with straight pathways maps or straight pathway maps like Cubism, logs, and maps to that effect. That being said, I'm going to give the Elite Defender a C tier rating just for the simple fact that I don't believe he belongs up here with the rest of these towers. Middle upgrade path sniper. While this sniper does buff other snipers, I do believe that there's really not a use just yet for the middle upgrade sniper in Chimps mode. But that being said, I do know that he buffs other snipers. So I'm kind of curious on your thoughts of the middle upgrade path sniper. I currently don't have any strategies in mind using him, but again, please feel free to let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Plutonium reactor, one of very few good starting towers in Bloons Tower Defense 6, because as soon as you get the plutonium reactor down, you know you are 112% good all the way up until round 40. That being said, once you make it past round 40, it's still effective up until the high 60s, maybe past rounds or maybe some round 70s. But at the same time, like, I think there's better investments that you could definitely make with your money opposed to going with the plutonium reactor. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give him the same classification I gave the Elite Defender, and I'm going to rate the plutonium reactor a C tier. Alright guys, the bottom upgrade path monkey ace. Very, very good tower. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the flying fortress because the flying fortress is super expensive, especially when you're looking at Chimps, but we will be talking about Spectre. Now, the Spectre is one of the towers much similar to the Crossbow Master, that it can carry you all the way up until round 80. The only difference between the Spectre and the Crossbow Master is I believe the Spectre is a little bit better than the Crossbow Master because he can go a little bit further than the Crossbow Master can in Chimps, especially when you start throwing some buffs on him as well. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and give it the Spectre an A tier rating. Next tower we're going to look at the center pathway glue gunner. Now again, this is more of a stall tower, so I'm going to go ahead and instantly classify it as a B class tower, just for the simple fact that it can give you more time to hit ceramic balloons. The only downside is it does not affect Moab class balloons, so it's not that great, but it is still a decent tower to use. Middle upgrade path ninja, the Bloons Saboteur. I'm going to give this guy an instant S-class rating for the simple fact that the tier 4 the tier 4 middle upgrade path ninja lowers all balloon speed by 15%, and it is a super cheap tower to afford. And there are a lot of chimp strats, a lot of 2-tower chimp strats that are not, well, not a lot of 2-tower chimps, but a lot of 2 megapops challenges that are not doable unless you have this bad mamma jamma right here. Grandmaster Ninja, instant S tier. The reason why I give it the instant S tier because it is one of the few strats available right now for hashtag ouch using the Grandmaster Ninja with the center pathway ninja as well. That being said, the Grandmaster Ninja will 100% hold an S class rating in my books. Monkey Village, hands down S class. The reason why I give it the S class is, of course, if we did not have the middle upgrade path village, there are a lot of strats that would just be completely pointless. It gives you towers the ability to pop all different types of balloons. It gives them camo detection. It gives them it stops round 76 with that massive rush of regrow ceramics that you guys get. So hands down, middle upgrade path Monkey Village will 100% hold an S class rating in my book. Icicle Impale, very, very, very good tower. This can help out a lot of chimp strats with stall because it works on small balloons, it works on Moab balloons, it works on DDTs. That being said, the Icicle Impale is one of the few stalls besides the middle upgrade path Ninja and also the bottom upgrade path glue that I believe belong higher than a B tier in my personal tier list. Carrier Flagship. I'm just going to instantly put this as a C tier. It is a good tower to use, but at the same time, like, it's not super overpowered. Like, it's much like the crossbow master in the sense that it's effective up to a certain round, but at the same time, once you make it to to round 90, it just loses its effectiveness and it isn't that great. Plus it's a little bit more of a pricey tower. I know it's not too much more expensive than the crossbow master, but at the same time, the tier 4 upgrade path is 7,500, if not 8,000, and then of course the destroyer is also a $4,000 upgrade as well. So that being said, I think the Carrier Flagship belongs under C tier. Banshee Commander. This tower, I've been hearing a couple of good things about it, but at the same time, I haven't seen any new strats using it. I know I haven't used it a lot. I do know there is some uses for it on certain maps, but for the most part, I don't think it's extremely useful for most Chimps map. I do know that it does provide a little bit of shove or stall with the Moab shove. That being said, I'll go ahead and move it up to a C tier, but I do believe that there are other towers that you can buy that will be a little bit more effective. All right, let me see. Bottom upgrade path Boomer. So for this tower, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a instant B tier, because it does have the ability to stall Moab balloons, and it is a very, very cheap stall, especially in Chimps mode, and you can place down plenty of them in a single game. So that being said, I do believe the bottom upgrade path Boomer belongs under the B tier. Infernal Ring. I think the Infernal Ring is a very, very good tower. I do know there are a couple of chimp strats that use this exact tower here. I don't think it can solo chimps by itself, but that being said, I do believe that this tower holds a strong A tier position. Bottom upgrade path Super. Maybe. I do know that the bottom upgrade path Super does have knockback, and it also has camo detection, but the only thing that's stopping me from giving it a B tier is just for the simple fact that it's super expensive to grab. The only reason I'm gonna give it a C tier is that it does have that knockback ability, and then on top of that, it does have his tier 3 Dark Knight can go ahead and do plenty of damage to Moab class balloons. Master Bomber. Debatably, probably the worst upgrade path for the Ninja. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and throw the Master Bomber under a C tier. I do hear a little bit of chatter about people using the Master Bomber for Chimps, but I have yet to actually try to come up with a strat using him as of now. I will invest a little bit of time to see if I can make something happen and I can learn a little bit more about the tower itself. So please feel free, much like the Comanche Commander, please feel free to let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this upgrade path for the Ninja. Upgrade path Sniper. I'm going to go ahead and, much similar to the Icicle Impale, I'm going to go ahead and give it a instant A tier, because the MAME Moab is not a super expensive upgrade path to go, but at the same time it is super strong and is super effective at providing stall for Moab class balloons. Middle upgrade path, bomb shooter. For this tower, I'm going to give it a instant S tier for the 22.0 patch, for the simple fact that there is a strat that revolves around using the tier 3 of this tower in order to beat certain maps, as long as it's paired with Striker Jones. So I'm definitely super excited to show you guys a couple of strats using the Moab Mauler, but which is exactly why I've given it an S tier classification. Bionic Boomer. It used to be extremely good. Like, I do know there was a lot of chimp strats using this tower. I do know it's pretty good to use in half cash modes. But for Chimps modes, I'm going to go ahead and place it under a C tier rating. Hopefully you guys don't hate me too much. I just figured there's much better towers that you guys can actually use in Chimps mode opposed to using the Bionic Boomerang. Alright, Permaspike. Instant S tier. Because the Permaspike is one of those towers that you can throw down late game. It can it allows you to experiment in Chimps. As long as you have some sort of main popping power in the front of the map, if you throw a Permaspike in the very back of the map, there is pretty much a high percent chance that you will not lose that Chimps game. As long as the towers that you place down do have enough popping power in order to damage the balloons enough in order to not overwhelm the Permaspike in the very back. Top upgrade path, Alchemist. Instant S tier. There's like, need I say more? Pirate Lord. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B tier classification. I do know there's a couple of two mega pops out there that use this tower, but for the most part, if you're newer to the game and you're not as experienced, I do believe that the Pirate Lord is one of those towers that it takes a little bit of experience to actually be useful in Bloons Tower Defense 6. Middle upgrade path, Dart Monkey. I'm gonna give it a we will give it a D tier classification just for the simple fact that it's super expensive. It's not as strong as I would like it to be, and I feel like it needs a massive rework in order for it to be useful in Chimps. Artillery Barrage. I haven't used this tower in Chimps in the recent patch. I do know that it got a little bit of a buff. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and stick it with the rest of the mortar monkeys, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it under the B tier classification because it also has a stall ability that it can use to help out in your Chimps game. First Strike, Preemptive Strike, need I say more, guys? Like, this is one of the best towers for Chimps in the game. Much similar to the Permaspike, the First Strike gives you a little bit of an opportunity to mess around with some different strats because if you have First Strike down at the end of your Chimps game, the First Strike can one-shot the bad balloon. Top upgrade path, Monkey Village. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it under a C tier classification for the simple fact that it can end up buffing your primary towers. But that being said, the tower itself, I feel like there's better options that you can go with. Sky Shredder, much similar to the Apache Prime. I do believe that this is a very, very good tower to use in Chimps. I don't use them too much because I tend to go for the more user-friendly strats. That being said, I will classify the Sky Shredder under an A tier classification. Prince of Darkness. As of the 22.0 update, I will give the Prince of Darkness an S tier classification for the simple fact that it makes a lot of 2-tower chimps possible. Now, as far as the Prince of Darkness itself, its only weakness are ZOMGs, the bad balloon, and towers like that. As long as the Prince of Darkness has some sort of balloons that it can actually pop, then the Prince of Darkness is a extremely OP tower. Alright, special poperations. Much similar to Icicle Impale and the top pathway Cripple Moab or Maim Moab, I'm going to go ahead and give these special poperations an A tier classification for the simple fact that the tier 5 is starting to be used more and more in Chimps modes. On top of that, it does have the ability to knock back balloons. The only downside of this tower itself is it can make a quick mess around 76 if you are newer to the game. Spirit of the Forest. I'm gonna give the Spirit of the Forest a D tier. Like, if it had more popping power, I would bump it up to a C tier. But this tower by himself is not strong at all. Much similar to the center pathway Dart Monkey. I just feel like it needs just a little bit more of a rework in order to make this tower actually usable in Chimps mode. Commander. Instant A tier, very good tower. It has very good combos, especially when you pair it with Admiral Brickell, you pair it with other monkey subs. I believe that the sub commander is a very good tower, similar to the Archmage, similar to Sky Shredder, similar to the Apache Prime, and similar to Spectre as well. Top upgrade path, Ice Monkey. I'm going to go ahead and stick this under a B tier classification for the simple fact that it can be paired with the Tax Zone and a couple of other towers to make easy work of Chimps mode, much similar to the Icicle Impale and towers such as this. Moab Glue, I'm gonna go ahead and give that an instant A tier because it makes a lot of Chimp strats possible. Blade Maelstrom, super cheap, tier 5, and also very good on Chimps. It can allow you to beat certain rounds that you struggle with. Its ability gets off of cooldown super quick, and it's a very good tower to use in Chimps mode by itself. Top upgrade path, Spike Factory. I'm gonna give it an A tier classification. Reason why I'm going to give it an A tier classification, not because of the super mines, but because of the tier 3 upgrade path with the top upgrade path for the Spike Factory itself. The tier 3 top pathway Spike Factory can solo round 40. It's super cheap and not expensive at all, and again it can allow you to experiment with a couple of different strats that you guys are trying to work out. Top upgrade path Druid. As of right now, I'm gonna give it a C tier classification. I do want to come up with a strat using this tower, but as of now, I'm going to go ahead and give it the C tier classification. This tower right here is up for debate. Please feel free to let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this tower. I know it's not a bad tower, but at the same time, the Avatar of Wrath is still much better than the top upgrade path Druid. Alright, so, anti-balloon gunner. I'm going to go ahead and stick this under the same upgrade path as the Legend of the Night, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a C tier classification just for the simple fact that it's super expensive to go for. I do know that they gave a price buff to the middle upgrade path super, but at the same time, I just feel like there's definitely much better towers that you can actually go with. Top upgrade path glue. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B tier classification for the simple fact that it does do massive amounts of damage to ceramic balloons, but at the same time, it doesn't do as much damage to Moab balloons as I would actually like it to. Attack zone, much similar to Apache Prime. The top upgrade path Monkey Ace, the Sub Commander, the Spectre, the Archmage. There are a couple of strats using this tower. I do believe that the attack zone is a super good tower to use in Chimps mode, and I'm definitely going to try and show you guys a couple more Chimp strats using this tower by itself. Middle upgrade path Alchemist. Again, another support tower with the unstable concoction upgrade path, but at the same time, I just don't feel like it's worth it to go for the tier 4 or the tier 5 because they're kind of expensive, and at the same time, it's in the same boat as the middle upgrade path Dart Monkey. I do feel like it needs a little bit more of a rework than it's already had. Bottom upgrade path Monkey Buccaneer. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it right there. The top upgrade path Super, I'm going to go ahead and throw that up here in the A tier classification for the simple fact that the Sun, or the tier 3 Sun avatar, super inexpensive and very much worth the price if you guys want to go for a little bit of a stall and you guys want to again experiment with a couple of different towers in Chimps mode. Round 0. Instant S-Class Tower, much similar to the Blade Maelstrom and Preemptive Strike. Its ability can allow you to experiment a little bit in Chimps because it can wipe the map of every single blue Moab balloon and below. It can also wipe out the BFBs if the BFBs are damaged enough. Ultra Jug. I do know that there are a couple of Chimp strats that would not be possible without this tower by itself. That being said, the Ultra Jug by itself isn't that great, but when you pair it with other towers, I do believe it is a viable tower to use in Chimps, much similar to the rest of the towers in the B tier classification. Phoenix Lord. Wall of Fire is OP, guys. That's pretty much all I have to say about the middle upgrade path wizard, is that the Wall of Fire and the Dragon's Breath wizard is extremely overpowered, and I do believe that it definitely holds a place as an A tier classification of tower. But anyways, guys, if you guys feel like I misplaced any towers in this list, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. I know this is, as of right now, the way that I view all of these different towers in Bloons Tower Defense 6. So please feel free to let me know if, again, I misplaced any of these towers, if you feel like the Icicle Impale is an S-Class, or if you guys feel like the Avatar of Wrath is an A tier or a B tier, because I'm definitely up to debate this with you guys. But anyways, guys, you already know what time it is. I hope you guys have the most amazing day of your lives, and I'll see you guys in the next one.